Hi everyone! This video is all about paper for your illustrations and artwork so that you can print it at home. It's a follow-up to my other videos on printing. Having the right paper to print your artwork on is super important, especially if you want to sell your prints. And finding the right one isn't easy and takes a lot of trial and error, so I reviewed tons of paper for you. Before we jump to revise different paper options, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Xyro. Xyro is a super fast, reliable and the most affordable web builder on the market. I always talk about how important it is to have a good portfolio website. With Xyro you can start building your website in a few minutes and it's extremely easy to use. You don't need any design skills, it has a super easy drag and drop functions, and it has an AI builder ideal to get you started right away. The builder will ask you a few questions. You can choose your fonts, buttons, all the website sections. And at the end, it will create a template for you with everything you need to get your site going. It also offers great templates you can choose from. Xyro is super fast and it has customer support 24/7, so if you need something, their team is always there to help. For example, the Our Planet Weeks website was fully built using Xyro. It was super easy to make as the builder is quite visual and intuitive. You have control over all the details, no need to know how to code or have experience building websites. Anyone can build a website in no time. Xyro has a limited time offer. You can get an exclusive discount plus 4 months free with any yearly plan. You can use my code AsiaOrlando, just see the links below. Back to the printing papers. If you have been watching my channel or following me on my socials, you might know that my favorite paper for printing my illustrations so far has been the Staples paper. Sadly, Staples is discontinuing this paper, making it harder and harder to get. What I love about this paper is the perfect satin coating. This kind of soft surface transfers perfectly the colors from my digital illustrations to paper, keeping their vibrancy, saturation and richness, which is something that many other papers I tested in the past failed to do. It's also important for me that the paper is thick, anywhere between 250 and 310 grams, so that the prints look professional and don't bend, and for the paper to be easily accessible so that all of you can get it. I will be printing one of my tarot card illustrations in size A5 to see how it looks on different papers and which one is the most faithful to the digital original. I'm still using my Canon Pixma printer you guys know from my previous videos. It's an amazing printer, great quality at that price tag. I myself have had it for the last 5 years and counting. To start with, I'm going to print on Staples paper to have a reference print. The Staples paper is perfectly white, satin, all the lines are always super sharp, the colors look just how I want them to. As in this video I mention a lot the paper brightness. To give you a reference, Staples paper is a tiny bit more yellow than a traditional office printing paper. You will notice that the Staples print is smaller than the others, and that's because it doesn't come in an A4 size like the rest. The first paper I will start with is Hahnemühle, which is a very well-known high-quality paper for printing artwork. I got the sample pack to try some of the options they have, and I'll try 5 out of the 6 papers that come in the pack. I will put the paper names on the screen so that I don't have to pronounce Hahnemühle each time. Let's go! Fine Art Bamboo has a visible texture of a pressed paper. It's 290 grams, which is a perfect thickness. It's important to mention that out of all the Hahnemühle papers I'm trying out today, this one is the yellowest one, which can influence strongly the colors. This bamboo paper feels really nice and pretty exclusive. My test illustration looks very good on it, although I can clearly see how all the colors turned out much warmer. I'm not sure how the paper hue might affect other illustrations that are more colorful or with warmer shades. For now, this print has a nice quality that I could potentially see in my shop. Next paper is Photorag Ultra Smooth. It's 305 GSM. I have great hopes for it, as in touch it's very similar to the Staples one. It has the same satin soft feel. Here it's important for you to know that this paper has one printing side, meaning that the texture on both sides of the paper is different and only one is meant to be printed on. The sharpness of this print is as amazing as on Staples paper, the quality is awesome, the colors are great. However, this paper is more yellowish than Staples, which means that all the colors have a slightly warmer hue. It's not a very dramatic change in color, but rather a very delicate one. Photorag Duo is another one I'm trying out. It's 276 GSM, it doesn't have the Staples satin feel, it's not textured at all, and it's slightly more yellowish than Staples. Here in the print I see some very slight change in colors to warmer ones due to the color of the paper fibers. The print is very sharp and untextured. It gives me an impression of a very traditional and safe printing paper if you are not sure if you want to go for a paper with texture. It often happens that more textured papers absorb the ink differently, and as a result the colors look more dull. Photorag, the simplest one out of the Photorag collection, is 308 grams. Here you have slight but visible texture of pressed paper and a more yellowish hue than in the case of Staples. The print came out very nice, it's quite thick, which I like. The colors of the artwork are warmer than the ones I originally used, which is caused by the paper color, so that's important to have in mind. But the paper texture gives it a nice touch. Photorag Bright White, as the name indicates, is a wider version of the previous paper, so the texture and the feel and also the weight of the paper stay the same, but the shade is visibly whiter, which I like. The colors came out very vibrant, pretty accurate, and the paper texture looks really cool, which makes me really like this one. Let's switch the brand now. Here I have Photopaper Pro Premium Matte from Canon. It's 210 GSM. This paper has two very different sides, so once again you can print only on one of them. It feels very soft, has no texture, but it doesn't have the Staples satin touch to it. In general, the colors came out a tiny bit warmer than the original, which you can especially see on the eyelids and foot of the girl in my illustration, how originally the peach color gained extra punch and saturation. I'll share some thoughts on this one closer to the end of the video. For the next paper I have Epson Traditional Photopaper Soft Gloss. This one is 325 GSM and is also very different from the rest. It has a matte non-printing side and a slightly glossy and sticky printing side. This one is also whiter than the rest, and that, together with the glossy effect, make the colors really stand out and they look very saturated. I wouldn't use this paper for my prints, not because of its quality, but because of the overall feel. What's interesting here is that even though the paper is slightly bit more yellow than Staples, the colors of this print are very cold, so there's a lot of blue in here. However, I'm thinking that it would be a perfect paper for black and white prints or for printing thank you cards, postcards and things like that because of its finish. I will definitely use this paper for thank you notes and postcards. The last one. Epson Archival Matte Paper has 189 grams. This one is officially the finest one of them all. The colors of the print are nicely saturated, the paper is nice in touch, and the quality of colors is great too. Even so, this one isn't my favorite as it's a bit too thin for me, but if you don't mind it, then it might be a good option. So, to sum up everything that just happened. Let me start by saying that there is no universal paper that will suit all art types and all tastes. The quality of impression depends also on the printer you use. I can highly recommend mine, I'm leaving you below a link where you can find it. Without further ado, after my research, the paper I like the most is Hahnemühle Photorag Bright White. All the Hahnemühle papers resulted to be great, but this in particular looks especially beautiful. It's nicely textured to add that special touch to your digital print, but not too much so that it looks forced or like it's trying to emulate traditional technique. It's heavy and has a nice feel to it and makes the art print look and feel very elegant. The colors are just a tiny bit warmer than the original, but they are vivid and saturated, which I love. This is the paper I will use in my online store after I run out of staples. Just in case you're looking for a more economic option, I would recommend you Canon Premium Matte Paper. It's very affordable and it's best value for the money. It's more than half the price of the Photorack Bright White. As always, I'm leaving you all the links to all the papers mentioned below, feel free to check them out. Also, if you're curious about my printing settings, subscribe to my channel, and then in my YouTube community tab you will see a screenshot of my printing settings. I also have 2 videos about printing, I leave them below as well, so be sure to check them out. Let's continue talking about printing artwork in the comments section, join my community on Discord to chat, and the Creative Draft newsletter to receive monthly resources for artists, all the links are below. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next one.